Okay, talking about the I'm going to try to not say the full name, but the CK situation that occurred. Anyway, I'm not really sharing my beliefs, but it's just crazy how, I don't know, it's led me to think about things a little bit. And mostly I think what stands out as far as, honestly, I think it's a distraction, but it's also like a fear tactic to get folks to this whole situation, how it's been handled, it's telling you who's in charge in the US for now. And what are they? So in my view, the conservatives are in charge. There's no doubt about it. And so it's like, what are they going to do to retain, that power, if you want to call it that? And they're clearly willing to go to, it's crazy. I never thought like in the US this would occur, where we are regulating folks, regulating ourselves, like neighbor to neighbor, citizen to citizen, based on what we say and trying to get each other fired. And even when it comes to like visas and stuff like that, like you're going to limit someone's ability to travel, allegedly, because of what they said, because they were not in favor or they were not neutral. Like, are we not allowed to critique things anymore? I guess not, which is crazy that we should be allowed to critique things, within context and being reasonable and all that. But it's like I heard, I don't know if it was some kind of high elected official that was saying, for instance, if you talk about the CK thing negatively, then the shooting, then you can be like essentially on the list, and that could be justification, just cause, I guess, for even citizens to remove citizenship. Like some of these conservatives, they're calling for, a citizen should be removed, the status of a citizen, because, if they say something negative about the CK or about him or whatever the situation. And then also heard like if you talk in that way about Israel. So these folks are like, they are really trying to legalize certain statements, certain beliefs, and it's just like they're openly saying it, So this goes to show like this is the current regime, and the fact that they're saying all this recently, it's like they keep becoming more and more brazen. So I think the intention is to continue this route. Like these conservatives, they know they've got the power for now, and they intend to use it and, make this country more so, in the image of that regime and stuff like that. So this illusion that we've got choice in general in this country, that we've got all these choices, that it's democratic, is just, it's crumbling quick. If you look, you don't have the ability to do much. That's made by design. But yeah, it just shows me, I just got this vibe, honestly. I don't trust, even in good areas, I don't trust, even where I'm from, I don't trust neighbors, I don't trust other citizens, because the amount of evil I've seen just amongst humanity is just, every time I'm like, it can't get more evil. And then, you hear like what you would assume ordinary folks just behaving more evilly, more and more and more. and it being like, I guess, kind of normalized. Like, you would think there would be like outrage in the streets by now, but or something significant, or something would be done. I don't know. It's just crazy to me that you have, I saw online where folks were alleging, they were stating that they were being reported by anonymous individuals that saw their content online, talking about the CK situation, and, they got fired because they were talking about it negatively. And so their employer decided fundamentally it would be, the employer's decision, right? After that, fired. Some of these employers are firing these individuals. So again, it just makes you feel, because businesses don't do things on a whim. Like, I've been fired a few times before, let go, etc. And it's just because things didn't work out. It was nothing that I did necessarily. They were just looking for something else, or, scheduling issues or whatever. So we just decided it was no longer working, kind of thing. So, but like, even the way that's done, it's very obvious that there's a lot of thinking. It's intentional, When these businesses make a decision, it's been made, and actions have been taken, at least weeks before. So, this is like an intentional decision that these employers are making to an extent. And it makes you think, why? Like, where are your loyalties? Is it for fundamental rights, abilities that you think citizens should have? Like, are you standing for your country? Is that your loyalty? Is it to these businesses where, someone is in charge and there's like bribery going on? I don't know. It just seems odd that all these businesses are attached to this CK individual. And I don't know. I knew he was like, kind of well known, had status, had money, but I didn't think he was that important to be causing, like, to where folks would really get attached to him. I just didn't think so. So to me, my views is he's just a regular guy, and I honestly, I'm concerned with, it's not just him. He symbolizes the main message of this is just saying he symbolizes, that situation symbolizes what's actually going on in the country. So it's metaphoric, So I was kind of disturbed because, well, I've seen his stuff over the years, and honestly, he's nicer, I think, than many conservatives, or he was nicer. He was more moderate, I would say. He didn't really say anything too crazy, just, I don't know, I wasn't the biggest fan of his attitude. I just, like, I don't know. Something seemed a little bit like too try hard, or I didn't feel a lot of authenticity, to be honest. Like, he just felt very showman-y in, the conservative context. I don't know. So we disagreed about many things, but it's like individuals like him, the whole conservative folks who, public figures and elected officials, like folks who have those beliefs but also are influential in some way. So all those kind of folks they're trying to have their influence in a way that, let's just say, I don't favor. I would just rather they don't. Really. So that's like women's rights for me. Healthcare, stuff like that. you know, I feel like I'm not as closed-minded when it comes to, I just wish there was more room for like the complexity of human life, and I don't know. So I don't have any notes. I was just like, watching all this stuff online and thinking and stuff. Honestly, I don't think this is going to be the only situation. I think there's going to be more, because I just feel it. Like, there's a lot of folks in this country that, especially with what's been going on, since that big beautiful bill went through, since like July 2025, but even end of 2024, it's like folks they've had enough. Really, they're kind of at their limit, and all these have been influenced and forced down our throat by these conservatives, to be honest. Let's be real. On a state level especially, but even on a national level, federal level, so I think there's just a battle. There's like a tension, honestly, where a lot of us, we feel like this regime is forced down our throat, and we're like, leave us alone. That's all we ask. So as a human being, like, I didn't know CK at all, or I just watched his stuff online every now and again, but I was indifferent. I'm indifferent, It's like, it's sad a human being has died, but, thousands of, I don't know how many, I'm guessing it's thousands of human beings die a day, literally. Maybe hundreds, I don't know. So death is, I don't see why his death has been like kind of valorized by some folks, especially on the conservative side. I just don't see it. To me, he's just someone who died, just like anyone else. I don't have any sort of an attachment when it comes to anything more. And there is kind of a sense, I'm not going to lie, but see, as I said, he's just a symbol of something so much bigger, and there's more of them, There's more conservatives who are trying to lobby our government, trying to influence the government, and money involved in all this, so, like, let's say whether he all of a sudden is not involved for whatever reason, that, the world is going in the direction it's going, or at least this country, with or without him involved. So whether, like, let's say if that situation didn't occur and he was alive, it wouldn't change the reality of what's going on now and, the future. He's kind of irrelevant to sort of the fate of this country. So that's why I think it's just mainly a distraction, and it's like, as Americans, we're just shown so many things all the time that's just meant to unnerve us. I mean, I did feel honestly like, at least this is one individual who, because I don't think he would have quit, like, he would have continued talking, continued working with others, continued being involved financially with certain ideas and the government and stuff. So, as I said, I didn't have the same beliefs as him, and I didn't appreciate his influence, to be honest. So that's like, one less individual who now can't do things that really, disturb me, or can't contribute to those things. But, it doesn't matter. I don't know. I think I'm rambling. So I think I basically said what I was going to say. So yeah, it's sad he died. But, it's a battle, and that's the thing. He knew what he was getting into, I believe. He wanted to engage in this cultural battle, and, he wanted to affect the lives of others negatively. I don't think he cared that much, quite frankly. I don't think he thought that healthcare was a fundamental right or that everyone should have it. I don't know. I have to look into what association, because I don't want to, say incorrect stuff or false things, but I know he was associated highly. I don't know if he was the founder, but he was kind of around there, very high status in an organization that I guess it's technically a think tank, but a lot of them lobby and, there's ties with the government. So he was doing a lot more than talking, and I firmly believe that. He was, that's how he made his money, I'm guessing, is he was trying to influence things. He was trying to influence him, and many, many others were trying to influence, the government. And therefore the consequences would be folks would be, forced to live a certain way. Many of them criminalized and institutionalized, many losing their health care, many going hungry. You're devastating. We're talking about already thousands of Americans, I'm sure, have been devastated by everything going on that has been, encouraged and sought after by the conservatives in general. So they, in general, are, causing devastation to thousands of Americans, even till today. And they want to continue doing more of that. They want to see more of that. And, CK was involved in it. So it's the way I look at it is any battle, he was basically a soldier for them. So, when you do that, you're risking yourself, you're risking your life. It's at that stage, it's your conscience, your whatever. And I respect that, But others shouldn't be required by law or by society or anything to mourn for you, to like you. I mean, this guy, what also was very disturbing was that he was never an elected official. The citizens did not choose him in any kind of way altogether. So, and he's even, according to Christianity, which I guess he was Christian, he's not a god, he's not in any religion, so I'm just why the pomp and circumstance? I don't even think I've ever heard of somebody, if someone talks bad about someone, the individual talking bad about him or her could, no longer be a citizen. And it could be even the tiniest negative thing or something like that. You really don't have to say much. Or if you talk about Israel or so this kind of criminalization or, making those things illegal, that's very disturbing to me. The fact that citizens are willing to go after other citizens and, especially at a time like now, you're going to make someone lose their job. You don't know them. You don't know if they have a family. What kind of evil is this? You're going to do all that just because you can. And don't Christians or the conservatives always say family values and all these other kind of values? Yeah, I don't know. So those are just my thoughts. And to be honest, I don't know. I don't know if the CK situation was natural like just done by a random individual. I don't. From the beginning, honestly, the situation seemed very off to me. And when I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, it maybe someone was hired and, CK knew and he was like, I'll take one for the team. I don't know. So, yeah. I don't even know if I should release this because I don't even know if the social media will allow it. And that's the other thing is, like, at least for a short time, I know there's TikTok, YouTube, like there's been several forms of social media where somebody was able to load like many individuals talking about the situation, and some quite negatively, I don't know. It's just like the reaction to this is like one of the weirdest reactions. I'm like, are some of these conservatives just losing their mind or something? Like something out of a sci-fi movie? Like, we must go after, Anyway, I have to be careful my wording. And the other thing that's disturbing is like somebody was like, they're basically threatening folks. Like, oh, if you are making jokes about the CK situation or whatever, I'm going to make sure that your employer knows what you're up to and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, what? We can't even I guess you shouldn't make a joke about a certain individual, but you can't even make general jokes within a society. That does not seem right to me, but yeah. Or maybe it's getting to the stage where like the government is trying to find any justification to, get folks to be quiet. Anything at all. So, yeah, it's interesting, weird, scary times in this US of A. Anyway, that's it.